All right. Good morning, everyone. Before we get started, let's hear from one of our vendor sponsors. Let's hear from Yvette Meyer with Old Republic Home Warranty.
Your clients are most concerned with their $6,000 to $7,000 air conditioning unit in their home when it's triple-digit heat here in Arizona. And Old Republic Home Protection has got you covered. On our Platinum plan, if we cannot repair, we replace with no age restriction. Yes, entire air conditioning unit systems. We also cover $1,000 in modification that's always necessary when we replace units. And we have no pound or dollar limit on refrigerant. Most home warranty companies now have a pound or dollar limit on the R22 refrigerant because it's tripled in cost, or they don't cover it at all. And we will cover that with no pound or dollar limit. Remember Old Republic Home Protection on your next contract. We greatly appreciate your business.
Well, thank you, Yvette. We've been using Yvette, gosh, for
21 years.
21 years. You're looking for a good marketing rep. Yvette Meyer is one of the best out there if you're here in Arizona. Anyway, so let's start this off. You know, pressure and stress are inevitable parts of any business, really life for that matter. And the question is not necessarily what kinds of pressure and stress you will face, but how are you going to respond to them and move forward in your business and in your life? So this week on MidWeek MindFreak, we're going to talk about how do you succeed and thrive under stress and pressure.
Chuck and Angela run multiple million-dollar companies. They are members of Riz Media's Billionaire Club, have coached and mentored thousands of agents, and are international speakers. They say by radically changing your mindset, not only can you change your outlook on life, but affect the actual results you obtain. Welcome to MidWeek MindFreak.
Welcome, guys. You know, like we always say, the battle always starts in your mind. And we want to win the battles. We want to win the battles because when you win those battles in your mind, you're just going to move forward in life and succeed at a much higher level and hopefully have a little more peace and joy and success in your life.
I know. I'm really excited about this topic.
Yeah, it's a good one. You know, so pressure and stress, boy, it comes at you at such a high pace and from all angles. So it's really, how do we deal with this? How do we go, I'm going to deal with that pressure and stress, but I want to move forward. I don't want it to cripple me. I don't want it to paralyze, hinder. And it is a difficult process, but we're going to teach you some tips and techniques and tricks that we do. And for that matter, if you talk to a lot of successful people or people that operate at such a high level, also do. Because, you know, the crazy thing is everyone deals with the same stress and pressure and that type of level, some more than others. And quite honestly, you know, we always joke around, the higher of a level of success you achieve, it's almost like you're inviting more pressure and stress into your life. So we've learned how to not only deal with it, but overcome it with some of these techniques. And we're going to share them with you guys. Hopefully you could pull a few of them out and succeed in your life. What is Miss Friend Rachel?
My ponytail. She likes it. I think. I don't know. Very ambiguous statement.
I don't have my ponytail up yet today.
Thank God.
Used to. Anyway, so let's go over these things to help out our lovely audience today.
Our lovely audience. There actually isn't a person alive that couldn't learn these things and continue to learn them throughout your life. There's so much research that says, you know, as time has moved on, as information becomes readily available, all of these things are causing more and more real stress on our bodies, on our minds, and in our lives. So these tips should be taken seriously, in my opinion. And so one of the things that can help you to mitigate your stress is to make sure you hone in on your core values and your why, and then follow your core values. So stress and pressure for most people can wreak havoc on the way you feel and how your brain processes. Definite research, there's not even a question about it. So most personality types don't like any type of confrontation. So clarity really goes down in times of stress and pressure, and that doesn't help anybody. So if you're working in a way that is aligned with your core values and those core values are supporting your why, when the pressure and stress is on, it will be way easier to stay focused and not get confused or conflicted. So for example, we work mightily unto the Lord, right? That's one of our core values. We bless people and help them in a way that we think Jesus would be pleased about. So when something stressful happens, like criticism, people leaving, people, saying no, whatever it is, if we are in alignment, we can process the information way better. Our reaction is more peaceful because we haven't compromised what we believe. And we already know we can't please everyone. Plus, you
really?
can't. I know.
Wow, you
Shocker.
can't please everyone?
Plus, peace is something that Jesus has in abundance, right? So just if you have to think about what are you doing every day that is in line with core values that you've developed or that you know is important so that you won't lose your way when the pressure comes, and it will.
It's like that North Star. You know where you're going. You keep focusing on that point.
Right.
And you start to realize a lot of this stuff around you is really meaningless. In your journey with your core values.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, which kind of maybe even aligns to if you have your core values, is identify what you're in control of.
Absolutely.
Right. So, during stressful situations, it always helps to ask yourself, what am I in control of in this part that's stressing me out, that's giving me the pressure? Because what you'll start to realize is most stress and pressure comes from outside of our control. And when you really think about it, I know we all fall into this. We start to think about things that once again are outside our control that really are meaningless in our journey of what our core values are. Like you said, I mean, you could think back a year ago, 2 years ago, when the pandemic hit and everybody's stressed, oh my God, this is going to happen and everything's going to run out, and people panic.
Mm-hmm.
Panic. And today, is there a problem finding toilet paper? No.
Not generally.
So what we do is we consume ourselves with so much pressure and stress that's outside of our control. So if you just focus on the things inside your control, analyze it, just take care of those things, what you'll soon realize, those other things that are causing you stress and pressure just fade away.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. They fade away. So always step back and think about what is inside my control that I can focus on, and leave that other stuff that I can't control. Just let it be. And you'll find yourself pushing forward and going towards your core values.
I thought you were going to break into song by the Beatles. Let it be.
No. Nope.
Not going to sing today?
It was not even on my thought process. I only sing to my beautiful wife and my
your
granddaughter.
You should hear the songs. The other thing that I love this topic so much, because if you guys would seriously consider the things that we're talking about and implement them into your lives, it's just another edge that you're going to have on most of the people in the world. You're literally going to have an edge on your competition because people just let the world, they succumb to whatever hits them in the head, right? Instead of enacting some of these principles to help gain perspective and relax and have peace. So the next one, there are actually a lot of physical things that you can do too. So like I said before, it definitely affects pressure and stress, affects your body, your cognitive ability. And so it does make sense that there are some things that you can do physically that would help. So I know you guys have heard this many times. It's not new news, but before you can, you need to figure.
Well, they're waiting
oh my
for
gosh,
you to talk here.
I know. You need to focus on physical health, right? With the way you eat, sleep, because when you do that, your body's better able to handle stress and pressure. So if you put all of these other things in place, but you're
dealing with stress and pressure.
I know, because
right
I couldn't
now.
speak English for a minute. But if you can have everything else in line, but if your physical health is out of line, you're just asking for bad negative effects. The other thing that is really, really cool is, I'm going to nerd out on you, is literally deep breathing. Now, don't get all weird on me. Breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, slowing your breathing down literally has a physical effect on your body. So research shows that deep breathing can have a direct result on the brain activity, right? It can literally, okay, listen to this. I've learned this. You're going to think I'm smart. You're going to think I'm smart. Slow breathing, it stimulates the vagus nerve. And I love Vegas. So I'm into this nerve, right? And so it runs from the brain to the abdomen. And so it tells the vagus nerve to put some neurotransmitters out. It literally fights against the fight and flight, which is a very normal response to stress and pressure. So deep breathing, keeping yourself physically healthy is definitely a way to mitigate the stress and pressure.
Whew. The next one, trust your competence. You know, I love this one because it empowers you. Being competent and having enough knowledge about making the right decisions can help you succeed under pressure all the time. When you are competent, more often than not, you will make a well thought out decision. When you're not equipped to make a decision or take action, that's when you lose your calmness because you're stressed, you're reacting. That's when you really feel out of control. So the question number one needs to be, if you do not feel competent, you better learn how to be competent.
Hey, you can get competent.
Learn your skill set. Learn what's going on. Understand the market. Understand your product. Understand how to deal with people. The more you learn and grow, the more you could trust in yourself. Now, the other problem you have to get past is kind of like a people pleasing, because even though maybe you may feel competent, you doubt yourself because of what other people may say and think.
Right.
Yeah, newsflash, guys, most people don't know jack shit.
They don't know what they're doing.
They talk. I know someone very close to me that talks such a great game that you would think
like
she
right
knows
next to you?
Everything.
Like right next to you?
Very close to me. So my point is, stop making people doubt yourself and start trusting in your gut reactions, your core, your keeping on track with your core values. Because guys, when you become more competent and more secure in your decisions, it's way, way easier to deal with pressure. And I think that's something that I've learned well off, through the years. I'm constantly learning and growing, and I'm in control of this ship for the most part. Obviously, we're not in control of nothing, but so my decision making is a lot easier when pressure hits because of the competence and the confidence I have in my abilities.
Yeah, and competence goes hand in hand with preparedness. When you're prepared for at least what you are in control over, then there's a confidence that comes with that as well. The last thing. Well,
I do want to talk one more thing about how you can become more competent and confident.
Okay.
And it's called visualization. And this is something that I've been working at my whole life.
You're so good at that, honestly.
And just like physically, when you do something over and over and over, we all know that you get better at it. But not everything you could physically do over and over, but there is everything you could do mentally. And that's called visualization. And what you do is you roll the scenario around over and over in your head with all different outcomes, and you constantly do it. So what you're doing is you're training your mind how to react if a real situation happened. So for any of you that don't really understand what I'm saying, here's what I'm going to give you a couple little things that I do all the time. It's just in my nature because of how I was brought up. Any location that I'm at,
so true.
I'm always aware of all my surroundings. Where's the exits? Where's what? Who's here? Who's in there? And I could roll around situations that if this happened, this is what I do. If that happens, this is what I do. My mind is constantly working and rolling out situations so that when something does happen and the pressure hits, where most people panic, it's like I already rolled out that situation multiple times. I'll give you, for example, a lot of athletes do this. You'll hear athletes in big games where they make these huge plays under pressure. And they go, how did you look so calm? And they go, I rolled that situation out in my head over and over and over as if I already performed it 10, 15, 20 times. So that's my challenge to you guys. Train your mind. I always say, stop being lazy-minded. Constantly have your mind working for you. And I guarantee you'll rise up under any pressure.
And I will say, from a person who has like no natural skill set in visualization, it can be developed because he is natural at it. So therefore he's a master at it because he also practices it. I sucked at it, but now I can do it at some level because of practice. So there's no excuse of why you can't get better at that. And then for me, the last thing to remember, it's a perspective issue, is that nothing lasts, not even the pressure and the stress, right? It will pass. But if it will pass better if you learn these techniques and strategies and implement them as habit. Because then while some people will be, like he said in the very beginning, be crippled, they can't think, they can't move, they can't progress. You can not just cope, but you can actually let pressure and stress refine and sharpen you instead of crumbling you. So just get perspective on it as well.
And then lastly, we'll wrap it up with this last one. Learn to distance yourself from the panic. Guys, there's multiple ways you can distance yourself. It's almost like, we as human beings, we always talk about if there was a bad accident or something, we gravitate towards looking at it. It's like we want to see that drama, that tragedy, or whatever it is. The news is really good at doing that. We need to train ourselves to distance ourselves from the panic and the pressure and the bullshit that's all around us. Because a lot of the pressure we invite into our own lives. Seriously. So you want to distance when you see something, when something starts to stress you out, or you're panicking, or you're fearful of your stress, just distance yourself from it. Shut the TV off. Stop looking at the news. Stop reading the posts. I guarantee you start to have a whole different perspective and your life becomes a lot less stressful. I'll give you another technique. Let's just say you're dealing with an angry client or an angry person and they're yelling at you and you're starting to feel the stress and the pressure. Our natural knee-jerk reaction is to yell back, is to get into that, for the most part, confrontation.
Or cower. That's your natural. Some people, it's cower.
Yeah, but you're letting it, we just had this conversation with our younger daughter, is you don't want to steer away from what we call communication because you think it's confrontation.
Right.
But when you avoid some communication, because it's not always positive, it turns into confrontation. Guys, really, I really want you to understand the difference here, because most confrontations start because you are unwilling to communicate. And because you think you're avoiding something, you're actually causing it to become worse. The other part of it is to take that communication and go right into confrontation or feed into their confrontation. I will tell you this, if someone's yelling at you, the easy reaction could be to yell back. But I will tell you, if you speak calmly and speak calmly as someone's yelling, it's very hard to yell at someone who's speaking calmly back to you.
Yeah.
Try that out. It's very easy to stay in a yelling match when you're both yelling. So you want to practice that type of thing, because the more you're in control, the more you can diffuse a situation. So learn to distance yourself from the panic, from the stress. Any final words, my beautiful wife in her ponytail today?
I just cannot stress enough to don't take these tips lightly, because you cannot believe the freedom and the peace and the way that you can clear your mind and accomplish can be if you can just get a handle on how you're reacting and interacting with pressure and stress.
So anyway, like always, guys, you know, we're big in the real estate world. If you're a real estate agent out there and you're looking to surround yourself with more positive people, forward-thinking people, reach out to us. You know, that also helps you distance yourself from the panic and the stress. Who you surround yourself with. You know, recently I just took a role with eXp Realty, an absolutely favorite company. I mean, us closing down our brokerage and aligning with them is the best thing we ever did. So now I'm actually director of broker strategy. If you're a broker owner out there, or you're thinking about starting a brokerage, and you just want to hear the pluses and the minuses of what it is to maybe align with us in eXp Realty, reach out. I'd love to help. I'd love to answer questions. No pressure. No pressure. You see that? What a segue into that. And we just love helping people. We love that you guys watch this. Share this with someone that needs to hear about mindset, about being positive, moving forward in their life. Guys, we appreciate you watching. God bless you guys. Have a great day.